Hello, myself is Dr. Praveen Bhandari. I welcome you for a video session on a topic ideal chemical reactors. In this video, I'll be discussing about the salient features and applications, and this will provide some good insights about the different popular ideal chemical reactors, and this will facilitate in a reactor selection depending upon the our objectives of carrying out the reaction. Now let us begin by understanding the features and limitation of a batch reactor. Now I have used one prefix as an ideal because in this case we are assuming the ideal behavior of the batch reactor, but I would like to humbly submit that this ideality can never be achieved. However, we can tend to move towards the ideality, and therefore now as the name suggests, batch reactor, there is no inlet of the reactant or neither the reacted mass is continuously removed when the reaction is going on. The reactants are filled to the reactor, the agitation is started, the required operating conditions are maintained, and the reaction is allowed to take place. Once the reaction is over, then only the product or the reacted mass is taken out. However, if we consider the rate of reaction as a function of concentration, so as the concentration of reactant changes progressively, so as there is a change in rate of reaction. So in this case, the rate of reaction is changing, the and with respect to time, and therefore we say that it's a unsteady state in a nature. So progressively the composition of the reaction mixture will change from the start of the reaction towards the end of the reaction, and the change will be varying with respect to, or the rate of the change will be varying with respect to a time. It won't, and that's why it's known as unsteady state nature of operation. Another important aspect of the batch reactor is, since there is no continuous inlet of the reactant nor continuous removal of the product, and therefore even though there is some offset during the reaction, we can easily control that offset and we can easily change the course of the reaction as per our expectation. However, if there is a continuous inlet and continuous outlet, so if there is some disturbance in the reaction, if there is some disturbance in terms of some, the way the reaction is driven, the way the reaction is occurring, the way there is a offset in a parameters than compared to a desired parameter, then in that case if something goes wrong, maybe in terms of product quality, maybe in terms of some other variables, then we don't have any option in case of the continuous reactor. However, since the reactor operates in a batch mode, we can easily control the offset in the reaction, and in that case we have a flexibility of operation. Again, as the reactor operate in a batch mode, so no strict control, very strict control of the parameter is necessary. So in that case the instrumentation required is less, so less cost of instrumentation, and it's a simple container equipped with the accessories and necessary measuring instrument, and because of that the operation is easy. The less skilled worker can also use the batch reactor. Because of the less instrumentation cost, the initial investment is less. However, in order to have the larger production, it is necessary to use the reactor of relatively larger volume, and because of this the more space is required. However, since there is no continuous reaction, the productivity is less, and the charging time, unloading of the reactor, then preparing it for the next batch, these activities are considered as a non-productive activities, and because of the batch mode of the operation, these activity, as these are the non-productive activity, we consider the time required for this activity as a downtime. So in that case, in case of the batch reactor, the downtime is more, and since there is no lot of automation generally used in case of the batch reactor, the labor required is more. However, this batch reactor is the first choice in case of the fine chemical industries or the industries which are into a custom synthesis, where multiple products are manufactured as per the customers or the other vendors requirement or other industry requirement. The another is continuous stir tank reactor. As the name itself indicates, that it's the reactor with necessary arrangement for the agitation. Now this agitation is also provided to a batch reactor. So in that case, I may call batch reactor as a stir tank reactor. However, the fundamental difference in continuous stir tank reactor and the batch reactor is continuous inlet of the reaction mass and continuous removal of the product form, and because of this the reactor is known as a continuous flow reactor. Now the agitation provided facilitates the instantaneous mixing, and as it's a continuous in our operation, I consider this reactor as a steady state reactor compared to a batch reactor which is an unsteady state in a nature. In case of the PFR, which we will be studying afterwards, that is plug flow reactor, the reaction which occurs in a continuous stir tank reactor or the composition of the reaction mixture in case of the continuous stir tank reactor is not the location specific. However, in case of the plug flow reactor, the composition is location specific. We will discuss more when we will see the plug flow reactor. Because of the continuous operation, the productivity is high and it is better suited for a heterogeneous catalytic reaction involving liquid phase reactants and product mixture. Because of the continuous nature, the downtime is less, and so is the labor requirement, that is the labor requirement is less. However, there are some limitations. The first and most important limitation is the conversion obtained is a lower compared to a plug flow reactor, and because of the sophisticated control arrangement required, the cost of the instrumentation is higher, and relatively skilled labor are required to operate the continuous reactor compared to a batch reactor. The last type of ideal reactor is a plug flow reactor. As the name itself indicates, the movement of the reactant or reaction mixture through the reactor volume resemble to the movement through a through a tube which is plugged at one of its end, and hence the name as plug flow reactor. Because of its typical constructional feature, it is also known as a tubular reactor. Now, what are the salient features of this? First, it's a continuous flow reactor. However, even though the stir tank reactor is also a continuous flow reactor, but the fundamental difference between continuous and plug flow is number one in terms of their shape. And the most important is, in case of the continuous stir tank reactor, there is an arrangement for agitation. However, in case of the plug flow reactor, there is no mixing device or agitator placed inside the reactor. Like continuous stir tank reactor, it's a steady state reactor. However, the reaction in case of plug flow reactor is progressive. What does it mean? The composition of the reaction mixture is progressive specific. That means if you take the sample from a different location, then you will realize that the composition at a different location is different. However, if you take out the sample from a particular location at a different time, you will get the constant composition for a particular location. Because of this, it's a steady state in operation. However, as the conversion varies along the length, we can call this reactor as a progressive reactor. Then compared to CSTR, the heat transfer area available is large. It is better suited or usually used for a heterogeneous catalytic gaseous phase reaction. However, it can also be used for a homogeneous liquid phase reaction, where along the movement through the reactor, the reaction occurs. So, in some cases, it can be used for a homogeneous liquid phase reaction, but generally used for a heterogeneous catalytic gaseous phase reaction. Compared to CSTR, the conversion obtained per unit volume is larger. The another advantage is, for the same conversion, the volume of plug flow reactor required is less compared to the volume of mixed flow reactor required or the stir tank continuous CSTR required. The limitation is, if we use for a heterogeneous gaseous phase reaction, catalytic reaction, if proper reaction rate is not controlled or if that design is not appropriate, then there is a possibility of hotspot formation in case of the plug flow reactor. And therefore, in order to avoid that, it has to be a carefully designed, either by controlling the rate of reaction or by providing proper area for the heat transfer. The one more typical characteristic, there is no axial mixing inside the plug flow reactor. However, radial mixing can occur. So, that's all about the ideal reactors. They are called as ideal reactor. The reason being, actually, all the reactors which are used in a process industry can be categorized into either three. However, there is always a variation from ideality. However, some reactors may resemble to more like batch reactor, more like CST or more like PFR. I hope you must have understood the typical characteristic or salient feature of the different ideal reactors. For more videos like this, I request you to subscribe to my YouTube channel Praveen Bhandari Nandurdi and share it with share this among your network. Thank you for watching. Keep watching, keep subscribing. Thank you.